Namaste. Namaste, everyone. I welcome all of you on behalf of Sri Aurobindo Integral Life Center, Auro University, and AuroBharati. It's my pleasure to introduce my colleague from Auro University, Dr. Ashima Arora, who is a fashion designer and technologist who believes in the concept of less is more. Her interest lies in traditional textile crafts of India and its revival in contemporary setting. Being an avid traveler, she has experienced the Indian forms and its relation to the Indian culture. A graduate from NIFT, Bangalore, and doctorate from Banasthali Vidyapith, Rajasthan, she is currently working as an assistant professor in School of Design at Auro University. She has published several research papers on textile crafts and sustainability. Welcome, Ashima ji. Today, we are discussing on, Ashima ji will do presentation on Akruti. In our culture, without Akruti, nothing is, there is only Shunya. So I'm just welcoming Ashima ji to take us to your journey, and welcome again, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Respected Kiran ma'am, Vidu ma'am, and all the esteemed participants here. It is actually an extreme pleasure to have got this opportunity to share my experiences and little knowledge I have in all these years, which I have gained, whether it is through traveling to different places or observing people from different communities. And like it's connect to, I can say, Indian culture. So we'll be talking about the same, and the title says as Akriti se Sanskriti tak. So we'll be talking about little relation of these forms with the Indian culture. I'll just share the screen. Is it visible, ma'am? Is the screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, but I think it's not. So these are some of the topics which I have tried to touch in today's session. I would be starting with words of Sri Aurobindo on art and its value, and then the meaning of forms or akritis, and some of the major akritis which have their existence in Indian setup, that is like mandala or yantra, then adorning the mother earth, or I can say bhumi vandan, then tree of life, which we actually talk about lotus, and then kalpa vriksha, and that, and kadamba vriksha, and that, then auspiciousness or mangalya, we can say, then images of totality or purnatva. And after that, I have taken an example of a textile craft and the story related to it, to the Indian culture and also to spirituality in a way. So to start with, Sri Aurobindo's saying, so it is not necessary that every man should be an artist, but it is necessary that every man should have his artistic faculty developed. So as I can say that, okay, everybody is not an artist, but yes, we have something in us. A little artist always stays in us. So our faculty has to be developed, taste has to be trained, and sense of beauty, and it's in its form and culture. So it is necessary that whosoever is creating, whether it is great things or even if something small we are doing to start with. So it can be unusual masterpieces of art and genius, or in some small common things. So the preference is that like one should expect to get a beautiful outcome to the ugly, and noble in preference to the vulgar, or fine in preference to the crude, and harmonious in preference to the gaudy. So these are some of the words of Sri Aurobindo which have really influenced me. I can say that I have read his book of The National Value of Art several times. So these are the words which have really inspired me. And then there is some more. There are many more actually, but I would keep it a little brief. A free and active imaging of form and hue within oneself, a free and self-trained hand, just reproducing the instinctive success, not the form and measurement of things seen outside. So it is very much necessary that we are looking into the inner truth or vision of the relation of the I with the harmony which exists, and we are very sensitive to design. Now coming to the meaning of forms and or akritis. So in Indian culture, the term akriti, it actually refers to a very wide range of exclusive products. We see akritis or forms almost everywhere, I would say, whether it is architecture or it is music or it is Natya Shastra, or we go to the normal fine artists place. So in the timeless Indian traditions, there have been a vast repository of forms which have guided us and they have provided meaning to our lives. So human minds, they bring multitude of akritis to life and they are deeply related to our Sanskriti. So this refers to visual decorative forms and objects that embody both beauty and function. So it is not necessary that it should just be aesthetic. It should have a meaning into it. That is very much necessary. So some of the akritis which are quite prominent in this time is, some of the examples as we can see here, they are sacred geometry, then mandalas, which we see almost at every religious or spiritual place, because it represents the universe or the unity for the self-realization. In traditional designs and motifs, it can be geometric motifs or floral motifs or peacocks, elephants. So anything from the ecosystem, or I can say inspired from nature in a way. Then kolam, which is done in Tamil usually, then rangoli, and folk art forms. It can be Varli, Madhubani art, or Pattachitra. They are often stylized shapes based to depict the daily life. So the image which we can see here for Radha Krishna, this is a Pattachitra work being done. These are some of the mandalas which actually the first one I had seen in my recent visit to Madhuban Ashram. It was prepared there out of the flowers and leaves which were on the ground, means they were not plugged. That was the main concept. So whatever they collected good flowers and leaves and prepared it, and it was like a daily ritual. In every session we had, there was a mandala. And the second one is from the NEP session we had in January here. So I've taken these images from there. So like my own observation while doing mandala is that it is like a lot of concentration comes into it. So it represents the cosmos by abstracting. So it helps us concentrate to that and take our minds off the outside world. That is the best part of a mandala. Even Buddhist people do a lot of mandalas using the sand painting. So mandalas, they continue to be visual representations of interior castes of the mind, and they are the yantras employed in meditational practices. So we'll see further that there are yantras also which are used in Indian tradition for I can say in the religious context. This is the yantra from Rajasthan. So this is the Sri Yantra from Rajasthan. Here we can see the triangles, both going upward and downward. I can see it is very similar to the logo of Auro University also, where we have some, we can say that we are going up on our spiritual journey and we are going down in terms of are, I can say, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, which we say, the 5 things which we need to control. And then the Bindu shows the universal symbol. So Bindu is the point which shows the wholeness. So we'll see that in every yantra or in every mandala, this Bindu, it is also a form of Purnatva, or it is an image of totality, which brings the whole universe together to one point. So we can say that the universe started from this one point itself. So that is the origin of everything. So the circle is the all, the breath of life is contained in its form. Even as the mind is in man, the circle is time eternal. This is mentioned in Vastu Sutra Upanishad 1.6. Coming to adorning the Mother Earth. So if I talk about Bhumi Vandan or adorning the Mother Earth, in Prithvi Sukta of Atharvaved, it is mentioned that Earth has always been praised as a nourisher, giver, sustainer, and defender in one of the most poetic odes to Mother Earth. The Rishi treats the land with respect and veneration. It valorizes it and exalts it as the original mother and sustainer of everything that lives and moves on it. So Prithvi is something which everybody worships in different states of the country. They have different ways of worshipping. So in Maharashtra they make Rangoli, in Gujarat they make Satya, in Bengal they make Alpona. Then in Rajasthan, Mandana is very famous, which is a mural art. In Odisha, it is known as Jinuti. Tamil Nadu, they make columns. Andhra Pradesh, they make Mugulu, and Himachal Pradesh, Likhnu. In Bihar, it is Aripan. And in Manipur, it is Pakhamba. So these are the geometric or the floral forms which are drawn. It is a way to say thanks to the Mother Earth or to adorn the Mother Earth, because Mother Earth is considered the giver of everything. So as part of Rangoli, which transforms into a mystical place with heavenly force, there are hopes and aspirations, prayers, and mantras. A Rangoli's motif and patterns, they can be either geometrical or square, circle, triangle, and they actually feature auspicious and fertility symbols like the fish or Vishnu Pada. Vishnu Pada means feet of Lord Vishnu. Then conch, snake, and there can be variety of creepers and flowers like lotus or other creatures and objects. The border around a rangoli not only has a pattern, but also it crucially serves to prevent the energy of rangoli from spilling over. So that's why the border gives it a limit to, I can say that it preserves whatever feeling the maker had to get that. I think there is some issue. This slide is not going forward, so I'll reshare it. So these are some of the examples from different states and ways the rangoli is made. Like the first image we can see here shows kolam in Tamil Nadu. Then the second one is a special kolam which is made on the occasion of Pongal. After that, the third one is again a rangoli which is made in Tamil Nadu, but we can see a lot of dots there. So the bindu here, it showcases Purn or union of Shiva and Shakti. So that's why Bindu becomes the center point and a very important part of any Rangoli which is made or any yantra we see. Here the image on the left side shows Mandna of Rajasthan. If we go towards rural Rajasthan, we can see that we'll see a lot of mural work being done using these geometric forms, as we can see here. And the one on the right hand side is the Rangoli using the rice paste. Now coming to Tree of Life. So if we talk about, I mentioned initially as well, that there are majorly three things which we consider in Tree of Life. That is lotus, kalpavriksha and kadamba tree. So if we talk about the Krishi Sanskriti in India, this is the earth culture, and it responds culturally and artistically to the Indian environment. So when we say Krishi has its root from Kris, that is KRS, and which also denotes the attraction and pluffing. So it is the farmer basically, the artisan or the homemaker, poet and potter. They express their akarshan for the lovely prakriti. It means they are trying to praise the nature around them or the whole ecosystem around them by illustrating them through akritis. So we can say it is a way to thank the nature by putting it in their akritis, making it a part of it. And it is a celebration of life in all of its varied manifestations, an affirmation of progress and adoration of abundance and fullness as essential components of it. So the majority of ornamental themes, they are botanical. It can be banyan and peepal trees, mango and lata, or it can be kalpavriksha and padma. Padma is another name for lotus. So we can also include fish, snake, peacock, and parrot. And it also becomes a significant component of ornamentation. Is then Kalash is also one of the, I can say, auspicious akriti, which is used at many places in Indian art forms. Talking about lotus or Padma, it is a key emblem and declaration of Indian aesthetic and metaphysical sensibilities, we can say. It is both aesthetically pleasing and significant. I can say that in my experience of traveling to different places, I have seen lotus playing a very important role. It is a very pure symbol. I can say that it is a symbol of purity, which relates us to not only I can say to the Lord's, but also in a way to our inner self when we are progressing in spirituality. So as we can see, all of us, I think, have observed that Lakshmi ji, she stands on a lotus. Then, Vishnu ji is lying. So on his shesh, the lotus appears from his navel. Brahma ji also represents the first movement of creation, and he also sits on lotus. So it is the same lotus fiber that Bhavna Rishi gave to Padmashalis to use for to the creation of cloth for gods. So it is that auspicious that it is used for creating cloth for gods. Even Buddha is seen clutching a lotus in the Padma Pani in the frescoes of Ajanta. Then Krishna ji from Bhagavad is also frequently clutching a lotus in the paintings of Shringar Ras or Riti Kavya. So lotus is a very common motif, whether we see in variety of fabrics, whether it is kantha embroidery or sujanis or pitchwise or kalamkaris. And this as a symbol of the opening of mind to the 8 cardinal directions. So the 8-petaled lotus has become a popular motif of many different mandalas. The lotus therefore touches the 5 elements of Panch Mahabhut, or we can say the Panch Tattva, which is Akash, Vayu, Up, Tej and Dhoop. So it demonstrates that the earth and the sky are one because it originates from earth and it moves towards the sky. Then coming to Kalpavriksha. So Kalpavriksha, I can say that it is one of the 9 gems which emerged from the Samudra Manthan like lotus did. And it is primordial and unibiquitous, and it is a frequently repeated akriti. It can be observed in many of the folk art and craft forms. So in reality, if we see the trees which we look around in our vicinity, would-be people, or banyan, or parijatka, and kadamba tree. So these trees are either celestial or sacred because we see them in temples and people doing like worshipping them or revolving around them with like putting that auspicious thread around it and all these things happening. So all these trees are revered in poetry and religion, and they are usually mistaken as a mythical kalpa vriksha. So all of these trees, they are referred to as wish fulfilling. When we say kalpa vriksha, so it is actually the wish fulfilling tree, and it is the king among trees, which despite being mythical in conception, it includes all notable trees in Indian tradition. So it is the major akriti which is used by men, women in Bengal and Bihar in their needlework, and this tree appears in a variety of shapes in the Kantha quilts also that Bengali women make, which are a reflection of their diverse cultural heritage. Apart from it, I have also seen a lot of tree of life or kalpa vriksha being used in ajrak printing. So it becomes a very major motive. Talking about the Kadamba tree, so this is a tree where we see all the, I can say, major life events of Sri Krishna happening. So in the Leelas and Kridas of Sri Krishna and Gopis in Bhagavad. So they are set in lovely Vrindavan. So everywhere we see Kadam tree, which is the Krishna's unique tree, which is included. And it is consistently shown in artists of miniature painting tradition, which come from Uttar Pradesh or Vrindavan as such, we say. So Kadamba tree conjures the presence of Krishna, and his Madhurya also is around it. So it showcases the romantic joy, where the women of Madhuban, they also decorate Kobargar with murals. We know that we are in Srinath. If we are at Nathdwara, so then we see Pichwai paintings a lot. So there are a lot of artisans who actually practice Pichwai painting. So in Pichwai painting as well, we see Krishna's flute, but all that is around Kadamba tree only. And all of a sudden, trees Akriti, it conveys a song. So it has an inner rhythm into it. If we look at the shapes of the leaves which are showcased in Kadamba tree, like we can see here, it is a kalamkari painting where the Kadamba tree is shown on the background of, I can say, Bal Krishnji. So it goes in a very, its leaves are denoted in a very different way. So if we talk about auspiciousness or I can say Mangalya, so Sri Sukta says that invoke for me, O Agni, the goddess Lakshmi, who shines like gold, yellow in hue, wearing gold and silver garlands. Sparkling like the moon, the embodiment of wealth, O Agni, invoke for me that unfailing Lakshmi. So being blessed by whom I shall win wealth, cattle, horses and men. So I think it is very clear in Sri Sukta that it is goddess Lakshmi with whom we actually relate auspiciousness or Mangal Kam. So there are 8 forms of Sri Lakshmi, that is also known as Ashtalakshmi. We can see the Madhubani painting made of Lakshmi ji in 20th century. So as its as name of Lakshmi says, which means to understand as to know and also goal, aim or objective. So Lakshmi actually helps people realize their goals by providing them the wealth they need in order to do so. So Lakshmi is actually a mirror of multiplicity. That's why we say that when there is Ashta Lakshmi, so there are 8 different forms of Lakshmi ji, which are whom people worship for different reasons. Like the first one is Adi Lakshmi. So she is said to be in her primordial form, through which she helps a person attain life's foremost aim, freedom from the cycle of death and rebirth. Then Dhana Lakshmi is people worship Dhana Lakshmi because she favors those who work hard by providing wealth and prosperity. Then there is Dhanya Lakshmi. Dhanya Lakshmi means someone who blesses as with a life without food. So Dhanya Lakshmi is mainly for the agricultural wealth, and farmers worship her a lot. Then Gaja Lakshmi is referred to the giver of animal wealth. The image which we can see here is of Gaja Lakshmi, where we can see 4 elephants worshipping Lakshmi ji. So traditionally prayed by couples for desired children is Santana Lakshmi, and then is Veera Lakshmi, who is a symbol of bravery and valor. Then Vidya Lakshmi for knowledge, and Vijay Lakshmi for victory. So Lakshmi ji, because she is considered quite auspicious, so her footprints are quite significant in many of the art forms. Like we can see here, this is image of a rangoli from Tamil Nadu, and I can say an extended part has been drawn from the rangoli to show the way to Lakshmi ji, so that the wealth enters home of the maker through when Lakshmi ji is seeing the rangoli. So she and the way is shown to her by making her footprints, or Lakshmi Pad or Shri Pad, we can say. So these are the footprints of Lakshmi. Even in many parts of India, we see people making it on the occasion of Diwali as such. And it is one reason where doors of the house are left open on the day of Lakshmi Pujan, so that goddess can enter without hindrance. And the footprints of Lakshmi are also drawn on the lids of the coin boxes or money chests, because it is believed that footprints guide the goddess to walk the path of richness and abundance in a person's life. This is one of the artworks prepared by me by using Airpan art during my visit to, I can say, Madhuban Ashram. So we got the chance to learn this particular folk art, in which even this Airpan craft is also used mainly for auspicious reasons, and in, I can say, either on the doorstep or entrance, or it is used in the temple of the house. So all the auspicious things are made out of it, and the major colorway they use is red and white. So red is a very auspicious color for them, and most of the motifs we saw there was Lakshmi ji's footprints, and then Ganesh ji was another major motif which was used. Apart from it, like when I talked to the artisan who was practicing it on almost a daily basis, and she has carried this tradition from all these years from her grandmother and great grandmother. So she told us that she feels very much connected to herself when she makes these lines, and it makes a very prominent part in the artwork. I can say the lines which are going. So that is one thing that she feels that, okay, this is connecting not only to the religion but also to her inner self. Then coming to kumkum, so red is, as I said, it is a very auspicious color because it is related to kumkum or vermilion, and we see kumkum being added to all mangal kam or all the good things happening at home because of its color, texture, and aroma. So not only that, but it also communicates growth and fertility, prosperity and abundance, and it bestows health and happiness for the ceremonial purity. So the next major akriti related to auspiciousness, I can say, is swastik. So swastik is considered as a very sacred symbol in Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain religions. So in most of the ancient times, swastik was regarded as a very auspicious sign, and it means it comes from suar, that is well, and being to do, or it as suffix. So its meaning says well-being of everybody. That is swastik. So we can see the usage of swastik at different places. Like in the first image, it is on Buddha's footprint in Amravati. It is this image has been taken from a temple in Amravati. Then these are the swastik symbols, which are actually placed in a manner to create a geometric pattern. But they are all swastik symbols. Like in the second image, the first thing, we can see 4 swastiks going around with a center point in between, which shows the universal whole or union. And similarly, it has been arranged in different geometric patterns in the rest of the 2 also. And these are taken from the step well called Rani Vavat pattern in Gujarat itself, when it was built by Solanki queen back in 11th century. So here we can see that swastik is being made in different forms. Some people make it by kumkum, or some make it by flowers and make it part of the rangoli on the special days. Now coming to images of totality, that is Purnatva, like I said earlier. So it holds a very significant meaning, and it is derived from the Sanskrit word Purna, which means complete in itself. So there are some images which are actually complete in itself, like we said mandala. Mandala is also one of those forms. So even when I can say that Shringar Ras happened, or when all the gopis used to dance. So that dance form also was in the form of mandala. Or when we see Garba happening, so we see that formation in it. So it has a deep innate meaning into it. We feel that, okay, these are just circles going around, but there is a meaning inside it, that why all of them, even it is like during the dance of Sri Krishna and Radha ji, and when all the gopis were also dancing, all of them used to dance in the circle, but everybody imagined themselves with Sri Krishna. They did not see Sri Krishna and Radha ji only in the center, because he was everywhere. So that was the spiritual intent of it. So that's how, if we say Purnatva, or full, or wholesome, or complete, so it means to reach the perfection. And it has a holistic understanding of life, emphasizing the unity and completeness of all aspects of existence. So here again, we can see that it actually makes us reach to the spiritual fulfillment, and there is wholeness and balance into it. And it has also a relation with the completeness in relationships, because circle is something which will connect you to everybody. You will not be like someone in silos and not connected to everyone else. So you will be part of that circle, but you will be complete in yourself also. Then coming to the next Purnatva image, which is quite, I think many of us also have Nataraj at our homes. This is the dancing Shiva. So it also has a very deep meaning into it, because it unites the microcosm and macrocosm, and the material and the spiritual, the time bound and the eternal. So in Purnatva, we can say that these are the images, or these are the akritis, where we see the opposites, but they are together in a very harmonious way. So that's why they are called as Purnatva, images of totality. Like Shivling is also one of those. So it is thought to be not only the most eloquent expression of Hindu philosophy, but it also has 5 Mahabhutas. So the Bhu, we can see the soil which lies beneath Apsmara. We can see below the foot of Lord Shiva here. So that is connected to Bhu. After the dwarf figure on which Nataraja is perched, then Ganga, which flows from his head, is represented as Up, that is water. And it is surrounded with Tej. We can see some of the flames going here. So that shows Tej. Vayu and Akash. And Akash is where the crescent moon lays on top of him. So these are the major parts of Nataraj. That's why it is considered. And we can see the 4 hands and every hand is showing a different thing. Like one is having damru, one is giving the blessing, another one is dancing. So everything is happening in one image. Then the next is Ardhanari, that is the symbolic unity of nature and knowledge. So when we say Ardhanarishwar, so it is a perfect synthesis of male and female forms, or Prakriti and Purush. These are the major forms, and it also illustrates that how both of them complement each other and they are inseparable. There also have been stories in Indian mythology, I can say, where there have been some rishis who have been cursed because they did not actually understand and accept the concept of Ardhanari. And they tried to worship only one out of Shiva and Shakti. So it is that important and I can say powerful. Then coming to Om. So I think Om is something which all of us can relate to, even the Guru Vandana which we say, or any mantra we say. So it always starts with Om and it ends with Om. So it is the ultimate reality or source of all existence, and it symbolizes the cosmic sound. So it has those cosmic rays or vibration, which is often considered the sound of creation. So it is said that initially when universe started, or when the first creation happened, so the most powerful sound which came in the universe was Om, and it has like 3 syllables. So A represents the waking state or the beginning. U represents the dream state or the middle, and M states the deep sleep state or the end in the causal transcendental realm. So all of them actually encompass the entirety of existence, including the past, present, and future. So all the three are within Om itself. And it shows the unity of body, mind, and spirit, and manifestation of the divine power. Because I think it is by our own personal experiences that more we speak this, we chant Om as many times. So we feel that okay, there is a manifestation of the divine power here, and it is a symbol of transcendence and also a unity and oneness. So, and Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, Om iti Brahma, Om iti idam sarvam. It means Om is eternal and Om is the universe. So it is the eternal truth, and it is whole of the universe is in Om. Coming to like the Indian traditional textiles and its relation to Indian culture, I can say that we take any textiles, whether it is kantha or it is kalamkari or it is sujni work or it is ajrak printing. Every artwork or every traditional textile form has a deep cultural significance into it, and there's a lot of symbolism and storytelling happening. The women who actually do kantha work or sujni work, they try to tell a story through their creations when they are making something, because it is sort of a blessing they pass on to the next generations. And craftsmanship and artistry is involved in it. After that, it is also part of the traditional attire, and it is an important part in all the festivals. Like we say fulkari. So if we go to Punjab, so fulkari is a blessing. With every means when there is a wedding, whatever you are wearing, you have to wear a fulkari shawl over it, because that is sort of a blessing from the elders. And so and of course there is economic and social significance as well here, because there are many rural women who are getting employed because of this. I can say that I even saw this example with the Khushali group in Madhuban Ashram, where they have adopted the nearby village and they have come up with the group of women who make their products out of crochet and knitting and apron and all these things, that and kantha work also. So they make the product. So in a way, I saw that okay, ashram is trying to raise the economic and the social status of the women who are doing it and who do not have many much of reachability, I would say. And I think like in today's time, we see a lot of NGOs working with craftspersons, but I'm really not sure that how much are they really contributing to their lives. So, but it was not the case when I saw that, because I saw ashram persons were putting in a lot of efforts to develop them and make them independent. This even means during our interaction with Vijay Lakshmi Didi there and others also, so they had that point that they want these women to become independent. Then sustainability and natural resources are again an important part here. So sustainability would be there because these are the things which are classic, and we do not, I can say, we do not keep changing like the usual fast fashion of today. So this is an example from Kantha, I can say. So Kantha is made using the old cloths, and they are stitched together. And this, I can say, the textile art which is made, or this fabric which is made, is used for giving warmth to the newborn babies. So it is gifted on every occasion usually, but it starts when the life starts. So when the baby comes in this world, so mother and grandmother, all of them together will sit and make kantha cloth, and they will give to him, because that is like a quilt for them, using all the old saris. So it is, I can say, making whole again that which is fragmented or broken. So some of the old saris which are no more of use, so all of them are coming together and making a very wholesome and a beautiful thing for to give to the new member of the family, I can say. So these are the references of the presentation which has been prepared by me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashimaji. It's amazing. Every session brings something new and something so close to our life, as if we are so much familiar, and even though it amazes us, every session is such a thing. And when you were talking about Kadam, the tree of Kadam, where you talk about the very romantic relation of Krishna there. It reminds me of one poem in Gujarati. The poet is Madhav Ramanuj. I don't know how many people you understand Gujarati. I'll speak that line and then I'll tell you in Hindi. So it is like that. In Gujarati, I'm reciting. Yaad tane besi ahi venu gata tavan madi. Leher vamadne kahe vamade vats pares vandanma. Madhav kyaye nathi madhuvanma. So the Kadam tree is so much interwoven in our life, and even the waves of river, they are talking about Krishna. That Krishna is not in the jungle, but here he was here in under Kadam tree. So it is so beautiful. Second thing which I really love, the last thing which you talked about, that Kantha work. And in Kantha work, you said that that is actually old cloth, and they are bringing new and that is for new life also. And even the depiction in that Kantha work also, it is something talks about life. Same way it happens in Kachi also. Kachi shawl is also depicts life, tree of life, or life is in a progression. Though we see simply line or stitches or something like that, but how beautifully it connects with our life, our culture, and the most important thing, it doesn't force us, but we are in that spiritual zone. Mandala, even when you were talking about mandala and particularly Buddhism, they use sand and they spend hours together without uttering even a single word. And then they just wipe it off immediately after that. And that it communicates so much about our life and our existence and our universe. and again, not detachment with that. So you really, the title of your presentation is again beautiful, Akriti se Sanskriti Tak, and we had a beautiful journey with you. Thank you for bringing this new, what is a kind of, though it is Akriti, but you connected very well. Thank you so much, Ashimaji. Beluji.
Yeah, when I read your title, Ashimaji, I was thinking, okay, she's saying Akriti se Sanskriti Tak, but there is, so this is from form to culture, but there is spirituality beyond culture. I mean, which culture is a part of it, but then spirit is also beyond culture. And I think, but when you started building the presentation, that journey became very clear. So from form to spirit, actually, that's the journey that you took us on. So I really valued that. And, it's just, I was looking for this poem of Sri Aurobindo, which is simply titled Form, about this Akriti. Because, so there is, this, I guess, ignorant understanding often that we get that, in this spiritual journey, it is all about seeking the invisible, seeking that which is beyond the earthly realm. But in Sri Aurobindo's Integral Yoga, it is very clear that form is also just as sacred, because everything is Purna. Everything has that Purnata in it, if we know how to, identify with that. So, the idea of divine hiding in matter, which is why Mother emphasized so much on the few quotes that you started with, national value of art. Everyone should be taught to develop some sort of sense of beauty, some sort of beauty of form and beauty of thought, beauty of spirit, all that. So it's just so interesting that how our ancestors gave so much value to the harmony in a form also. So the forms that you showed, whether it is swastik or om or mandala, the circular thing. Incidentally, I was reminded of a retreat we had done a few months back in a small place near Bangalore. And we had asked groups of people, these are all professionals, to create mandalas. And not to really judge or compare, but there was a group of men, somehow that's how that group happened. And they were all engineers, computer engineer, aeronautics engineer, like people who are working with computers and technical stuff all throughout the day. And what they experienced, what they shared as a result of that exercise, it was amazing to just hear, and how enthusiastic they were in creating a form of beauty, but at the same time connecting with the spirit within. We had a soft music going, and the way they were selecting flowers, it was just so nice to see 30, 40-year-old engineers creating something so ethereal, so fragile. So form has its own sacredness, and that's what I really felt you brought out so beautifully in your presentation today. I will just share that poem in the chat box. But also, I think one question I have for you, Ashimaji, one form which is very Indian, I think, is the paisley, what we,
Yes.
the ambi.
Yes.
Again, that is so interesting, especially in the fabrics, especially in textiles. So I don't know what.
Yeah, actually, there were actually a lot of forms. I focused on like the major ones, but yes,
Yeah.
Ambi and Paisley is a term which Western people give.
Yes.
But for us, it was always Ambi. So,
Yeah.
and we saw it, that form was visible even in the, I can say, whether it is kalamkari or it is block printing or anywhere we see. So that Ambi is there.
Right.
And it is also visible a lot when we see I can say pandal setup for Durga Puja. So with the Devi Durga Ma, so there would be those ambis, those kind of motifs would always be there. So even that is, I can say, it is an image of totality. and auspiciousness as well. So that's why it is a common part, though I missed on adding it here. But
Yeah.
yes, I read about it and I thought, okay,
Yeah.
some things I'll have to let go because of time constraints. But yes, you are absolutely right. It has a very major impact there, and it is a major motive which we see, or akriti.
And it's so interesting that how the West took on to that form, especially the Britishers. I mean, this was all result of the colonial thing. But and then same form swastik in the wrong hands, it can be a very, it can be abused to such an extent. So it's like, it was also a reminder for us to reclaim these forms and go back to their true essence. So, I mean, the sense of that poem of Sri Aurobindo is that, we have to, because there is spirit in the form, so the form is also sacred. So, it's important, whether it is a temple or a fabric, like, I mean, this is interesting how Kantha, you talked about how it was stitched, bringing to wholeness what was fragmented. But again, what we have done with Kantha, I mean, like these days, I don't think most of the Kantha fabrics are like this. They are just made
now
on a new.
It is just the running stitch which goes.
So that also needs to be, I don't know, what do you think as a fashion textile designer? I mean, how do you feel about it?
Now it is a more of an ornamental thing, I would say. So the original part has gone. And though it is still practiced in the families in Bengal, but the other parts of India which have tried to adopt it and do it by themselves, so they have just been able to adopt the running stitch part.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that. But still, I can say in Bengal, females are still doing it at home. It is a ritual which they have to do in those 9 months which they have before the baby has to come. So they make all these quilts because they have to get ready for the newborn. So it is sort of a blessing of all the elders, and everybody contributes to make this.
Yeah.
And we can even see the symbol of Surya here. This.
Yeah. And that's the thing about preserving the form. Because if it is just becoming like a mechanical thing, running stitch all over on a new piece of fabric, the spirit is gone, making whole again that which is fragmented or broken. It is such a beautiful spirit. So that, so yeah, I think the world needs people like you in fashion industry, in textile industry, to remind us about the beauty of these traditions and traditional forms. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ram.
Yeah, I think I agree. One thing when you were talking about Kantha work, Beluji, that is true. It is very important that story behind, making anything is very important. For example, when you narrated the story about that, how it is done and when it is done, it connects the purpose of, the making of anything. For example, Lakshmi also gives that, stitches. Beautiful stitching. I mean, beautiful stitches are there. But it has different flair. It is like, very different. But when you talk about Kantha work and tell the story, the purpose and how you shared the wholeness behind this, now it has very different meaning for me.
Yeah.
So it is very important to educate or to bring to, awareness to the people around us that the purpose is this.
Right.
So you feel very connected and very kind of humble behind this, work.
Yeah.
Same. I think when you were talking about, painting or something like that, even in Rajasthan, they used to draw on the wall, and it is again a life there. Now it is a ritual. They just, sprinkle before Diwali, they sprinkle white, whatever the paint is, and it is done. Though they make, some of them, they make mobile or something like that. But the purpose behind that, making swastik or making Lakshmiji's, feet, there is a reason behind. So they're beautiful, that mandala, and then making the way for Lakshmi ji to enter, to show the goddess to come to our house. That is again the beautiful story. So I think your discussion and Beluji, when she was sharing, I realized that it is very important to tell the story to the young generation also, because some or other way we know a little bit, but connection only will happen when there is a story said. And really, I'm thankful that you brought out that story behind each motif or each line of artist. So this is beautiful. Thank you, Ashima-ji.
Yeah. And I'm particularly very intrigued by our textile traditions of
Yes.
India. So I think maybe next time when we have you back with us, you can walk us more through the various textile traditions of India. I mean, I was in Sri Kalahasti recently, and the Kalamkari, and I happened to talk to a couple of women who had started their, like they are employing many Kalamkari artists, and how particular they are that they will not sell saris or dupattas with Ramayana or Mahabharata stories, because that is not how traditionally these things were done, only for the temple. But now people have, commercial units have started painting those stories in Kalamkari. Even there are very few original Kalamkari artists left. Most of it is printing or, block printing or screen printing. So it's just so important, those stories, those traditions, the spirit, which led to the emergence of a certain art form. So this requires a longer conversation about textiles of India. So,
Yeah.
but thank you so much. Really wonderful.
And thank you, everyone. I mean, Sudevi ji and Dinesh ji is here with us. And I don't know who else is there. Yeah. Thank you for being with us. Ashima ji, again, thanks a lot for sparing time, because today she had very hectic schedule, though you did really great job. Thank you.
Thank you
And
so much.
Beluji, we'll meet again.
Yes,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk.
Namaste.
Okay, thank you. Namaste.